now, which is talking about how we can convey different emotions using our hands, how we can make our audience feel different emotions using our hands. Now, I've got 5 for you again, so you might want to write these down as we go. The first feeling that I want to talk about is how you can come across friendly to your audience, okay? Warm to your audience. Any idea on how we could do that using our hands? How could we come across more friendly using our hands?
Open gestures.
So what's an open gesture, Kathy? Demonstrate for us.
Well, what's an open gesture? Well, there's an open gesture.
Yeah. So a closed gesture is something like this. An open gesture is more like this. And what I specifically want to draw your attention to is the open palm. Okay, the open palm is really important. There's a huge difference in feeling if I gesture like this towards you compared to gesturing like this towards you. Now, does anyone know why the open palm is so important? Tomas, I see you're nodding your head. Do you want to tell us?
I'm not sure about the open palm, but I have the feeling because of the security, a sense of security. The other person is not a threat or no harm because their hands are empty.
Exactly, precisely that. I mean, back in the days of hunter-gatherer times, what was the biggest threat to our lives? Other human beings punching us, using weapons. So our brains became programmed to focus on the hands of people we are around. And so when you can't see someone's hands, or when their hands are closed, your brain subconsciously gets a little bit angsty, gets a little bit nervous, right? But when your brain sees rather that person's hands are open, you naturally, subconsciously calm down. So think about using open palms if you want to come across friendly to your audience, if you want to show them that you mean no harm and that you are their friend. Now, second type of emotion is confidence. You know, conveying confidence with our gestures. Tell me, what do you think some confident gestures look like? Rayham, I'll come to you. What do you think some confident gestures look like?
I think when you just use your hands or also your facial expression like a nature way, without any artificial at this time. So at the time you feel that you be yourself, so you appear to the audience as a confident one. Just your confidence will be more great than you just can imagine.
Yes, well, a huge part of it is, you know, being authentic, absolutely, and being yourself. You don't want to pretend you're someone else. That doesn't work out well. But in terms of the mechanics, if we think about what nervous gestures look like, you may remember that nervous gestures were quite small. They were quite inward. Well, if we want to show more confidence, then we need to take up more space. And that means having bigger gestures, okay? You know, not just gesturing here, but gesturing out here, really owning the space that you have around you. And the hardest gesture to do in many ways is this one, the starfish. No, I'm kidding. It's not the starfish, but we call this an audience hug in public speaking. You know, it's a big open gesture, but it's conveying so much confidence, and it's a great thing to open with in your presentation too. The other aspect of confident gestures is the commitment behind the gestures. People who are not sure of themselves, their hands tend to be a little bit more floppy. Their hands tend to have a little less commitment behind them. They're just sort of meandering around, but a confident person gestures with purpose. You know, there's a real strength behind their gestures. So make sure that you're exuding that too, that you're really committing to the gestures you're using, and you're not just sort of flopping your hands around. It's a small detail, but it makes a big difference in terms of how the audience are perceiving you. So size and commitment are huge when it comes to conveying confidence with your gestures. Third emotion I want to talk about is excitement. How you can lift the energy of the room for the audience, but also for yourself when you're speaking. Any ideas? How could we increase the energy? How could we convey excitement using our hands? What do we think? Tina, I'll come to you. What do you think? I can see you've got ideas in your head.
I don't know, maybe when I try to get attention, I usually like make noises, or I don't know. I don't know. That's why I'm here. I need to learn this properly.
You could make noises, absolutely. I mean, that's certainly going to get attention. In terms of lifting the energy, one thing we can look at is, yeah, what Tara said there, actually lifting our hands. If you go to a concert, where do most people's hands tend to be? They tend to be in the air. The person on stage is sort of encouraging the crowd as well. Now, I'm not saying that you should be doing that the whole time, because people will think you're nuts. But what I am saying is just for a short period of time, if you feel you're losing the room a little bit or want to lift the energy, lift your gestures just briefly before bringing them back down. That can make a difference. The other aspect is the speed of your gestures. You know, if you're gesturing quite slow, that's going to make your voice slow down as well, and everything's going to be a lot more lethargic. But if you gesture with a bit of speed, that's going to increase the energy in your voice and ultimately the energy in the room as well. So the pace of your gestures can have a big impact on the energy and excitement that you are conveying. But it's all got to be done in moderation. You know, if you're flapping your hands around like this the whole time, people are going to think you're fighting bees or something. So you don't want to be doing that. But again, we can use these techniques for brief moments to engage your audience in different ways. Let's switch gears a little bit here. Fourth emotion. What if we want to share something emotive? If we want to talk about something sad? What should we do with our gestures then? Jerry, what do you think?
Well, you need to make sure they're in sync with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. So if you're talking about something heartfelt, you might come to your heart space. Yeah, I guess just sympathetic. You're not going to be, if you're bringing it in, you're not going out with your gestures. So you're in sync with what you're saying. Yeah. You're not being incongruent.
You're not being incongruent, absolutely. And I loved what you said there, that the phrase you used, heart space. If you notice, anytime someone's talking about something that means a great deal to them, they will naturally bring their hand to their chest in some way. And when I talk to you like this, it feels a lot more emotive than if I talk to you like this. There is a difference by me just bringing my hand to my chest and me not having my hand to my chest. So if you're talking about something that means a lot to you, bring your hand here, show that a little bit so you connect more with the audience. Another thing is, in some instances, this could be one of these few opportunities where you don't gesture at all. If you're talking about something really hurtful, really painful, bad news, maybe just drop the hands altogether and let the words do the work, right? Or gesture in a lot more of a slower pace. We want to bring the energy down here in these key moments when we're trying to connect with the audience on a deep level. Okay, fifth type of emotion, curiosity. Curiosity. How can we get the audience to be curious about what we've got to say using just our hands? Any idea on how we could do that? How we could create some curiosity? Claire Miller, I think you might have an idea here. What do you think?
No.
No idea at all.
Well, if you have your hand here or here, they're all gestures, and I don't.
You could do that classic contemplation pose,
Yeah, I think that was a good picture back in 2014, wasn't it, for the kids to sort of, that option is there. Okay, I'll put you out of your misery. It's quite a tough one, this. I think what you can do if you want to create curiosity about something is you can do this gesture. Now, this is where I bring my index finger and my thumb together and close the rest of my hand, because it's almost like I'm holding a secret. It's almost like I'm holding the point in my hand and I'm going to share it with you, and it's going to be really impactful. So that's a great way just to create a little bit of curiosity. Yes, just try it out. Everybody try it out if you want to. You bring your, yeah, there you go. I mean, Tina, you look, you've got a good one right there. You really do. Yeah, Nathan looking good too. These, oh my God, I can't wait to hear what you've got to say. This is what I'm talking about, right? And it sounds silly. It does. But it really does make you a little bit curious, doesn't it? And if you see leaders and sometimes in TEDx talks, people do this before they go into their key point. So if you've got a key point you want to share with your audience, maybe tantalize them for a second with that gesture there to build up the curiosity even more. Okay, so 5 emotions we covered there. What was the first emotion? Please shout it out, and not just happy.
Friendly.
Friendly.
Friendly, yes, yes. Second one, what was that?
Confident.
Confidence.
Confident. Third,
Excitement.
yeah, or clapping if you're teenage. Fourth was
Emotive.
emotive, and 5th was curiosity. Here's the deal now.